Hello guys, welcome or welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I am here with a new topic, liquidity preference. I know I haven't been uploading for a long while, but here I am back with another video. This is a subtopic from A levels economics 9708, but you can always refer for other syllabuses as well. Today we are going to look into why liquid money is preferred, basically demand for money, and why is money demanded in cash specifically. So what can be the reasons money or like cash is demanded? um, that theory is known as liquidity preference. It is the desire of an individual and a business to hold cash or highly liquid assets, such as short-term government bonds, and like rather than like less liquid assets such as stocks or real estate. But highly liquid assets are something that you can easily convert into cash. So that is liquidity preference, desirability of an individual to hold cash. There are different reasons for a person to hold cash. One is, I I know that you guys already guessed, for day-to-day transactions. So the desire to hold money for daily transactions, buying of goods. For example, tomorrow I want to buy a kg of apples. I would need cash for that, right? So for that motive, so that's transaction motive. Precautionary motive, God forbids anything happens in the family or anything happens to you, you would like to hold emergency cash in order to provide you money in times of unforeseen events. So, a reason for holding money for unexpected or unforeseen events. Now, these two motives are not affected by the interest rate. So, that's why we call that these two motives are interest inelastic. And we should know this. This would be a very good point for your answers. It will be a step up from other people that are writing the same answers. These two, transaction and precautionary motive, both are counted under an active balance because you're actively using them, or even not even actively, but when you use it, it's quite active, so you don't have to wait to use it. So active balance is not affected by the interest rate, it is interest inelastic. Next, we have ideal balance, which has only one motive, which is speculative motive. So, a reason for holding money with a view to make future gains from buying financial assets. For example, today I purchase bonds at a particular rate that is going to yield me some money in the future. So, I will not buy that bond which is yielding me lesser money, but I will hold cash to buy a government bond that will yield me more money in the future. So for that motives, I can keep cash. So all of these are the motives of holding or demanding cash in an economy. So next is the liquidity preference money supply model. It is a graphical representation of the equilibrium in the market or in an economy, and it shows the relationship between the rate of interest and how the national income changes. The L stands for liquidity preference, M stands for money supply, is sloping upwards. So an increase in national income leads to an increase in demand for money, which is in turn leads to an increase in the interest rate. The interest rate is the price of borrowing money, and an increase in demand for money leads to an increase in price. So I hope you understand this slide. So this is known as the LM model or the LM curve. So there are four quadrants of this graph. Let's look into each of them specifically. So one is transaction motive and your income. So for example, if your income is going to increase from 10 rupees to 100 rupees, I can do more transactions, right? So my transaction, so demand for transactive motive will also increase, because now that I can buy more, I can make more transactions, and for that I will need more cash. So the demand for the transaction motive will also increase with an increase in income. Let's just flip the whole graph so that this I will explain the flipping of the graph at the end when all four of them are done. So yeah, I've just flipped the graph. The graph is still the same, like this. So yeah. So next we have is the speculative demand and the interest rate. So it is said that when the interest rate is very high, the speculative demand for money is lower, because now you want to invest more money, because higher interest rate will yield you more money in the future. So you would like to not have cash with you, you would like to invest in the bonds. So at higher interest rate you have more bonds and lesser cash. At lower interest rate the yield in the future would be lower, and therefore you will hold on to the cash instead of investing in government bonds, so that you can in future, if ever the interest rate increases, you can use that same cash to invest in that. So for that, so this is the relationship between interest rate and the speculative demand. So the speculative demand of the money will fall as the interest rate increases. And I have also flipped this graph, and I will tell you at the end of all four graphs. Next, we have the transaction motive and the speculative demand. We assume that if I'm not demanding money for speculation, then it is used for transaction, and if I'm not using money for transaction, then it is for the speculative demand. So it is inversely proportional. So if my transaction demand for transactive motive increases, then I cannot hold cash for the speculative demand or motive. If I'm having more cash for speculative motive, then there would be less cash available for transactive motive, so that demand will also fall. So that is the inverse relationship between transactive motive and speculative demand. The intercept, the x-intercept and the y-intercept are equal. So over here the demand on the both axes are considered to be same. So when the speculative demand is 0, for example, the transactive motive can be 100. But if the transactive motive is 0, then the speculative demand would be 100. So it's a linear curve. Again, I've flipped this graph as well. So now I have these three graphs that I've combined, that interest rate, speculative demand that we talked about, more the interest rate, lesser the speculative demand and transaction demand. They are substituting each other. So if more speculative demand, lesser transactive demand, and we also discussed the transaction income relationship. If you do not remember, please go back to those to that time. I will put timestamps for you to view back. Yeah. So now let's see if at one particular interest rate, what would be my income? Yeah, what would be my income? So now at this point, my interest rate, for example, this is initial interest rate. Now I can extend the speculative demand. So I've just determined what my speculative demand would be because of the interest rate. Because of the speculative demand, I can also get the transactive demand, which would be like this. And then using this, I can also get how much income. So like this. Okay, so I have the transactive demand to determine my income, and at this I can make a point for the interest income relationship. Next, we have similarly, if I increase my interest rate, then this point would be achieved. Now I have 2 points for income and interest graph. I can simply just draw a line across the 2 points, and this would be the relationship between the income and the interest rate. So I've removed all the dotted lines, and yeah. So this red line is known as the LM curve or the LM model, and this graph is quite useful, I feel. So that's why I've put, it's not in the portion, but still I've put it because it has the speculative and transactive demand and the interest rates. So this is the income interest graph. Thank you so much for watching my video. I hope to see you soon, and I will surely upload a new videos as soon as possible. I am also busy with my exam, so yeah, see you soon. Thank you so much. Bye guys. Subscribe, comment and share with people so that I can get more, views and likes and everything. And also comment good stuff. When you subscribe, hit the bell icon so that you are notified when you get a new video. I know I don't post much, but still whenever I post. Yeah, that's it. Bye guys. Thank you for watching my video, bearing with my voice.